Hi, I'm Rob Brown, and I am going to be silvering using two formulations from Angel Gilding. The standard formulation, which you may be familiar with, and this here new stuff, which is called Angel Chrome. It's not chrome, it's silver, but this has been potentially optimized for front silver coatings as we need in astronomical telescope mirrors. So does it make a difference? We'll see. I don't know. If everything goes well with the old material, then it won't make a difference with the new material. But I'm just going to do things the same way on both, and we'll see what we get. Now we're going to start cleaning glass. All right. So. This is one of a pair of 16-inch F3s that I'm working on. It's not even spherical yet, but I believe it's polished out. Ooh, look at that. I can probably just nail it. There's the reflection. Yeah. Bing, 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 bing. Okay. What I got to do first is, if you see the edge, that edge has a lot of pitch residue with polish in it, and that is going to come off with a little mineral spirits. Also, I'm going to look over at the thermometer, and it is reading 45 Fahrenheit. We're doing this cold, and that's going to slow down the reaction, which honestly I'm quite happy with. I've done this in the winter and in the summer, and I felt that in the summer I really wanted to dilute even further, and I've done that, and it was a good thing. But we're going full strength today because it's so cold. Boy, I tell you what, this mineral spirits, you know, it's the problem is lower fumes. It's just not dangerous enough. We need a higher toxicity solvent. But that's only my problem, because the people watching they're just gonna fast forward through all this stuff. Okay, he's cleaning the edge of the mirror. Well, why is the edge so important? I'm not silvering the edge. We're going to talk a lot about the edge as we continue cleaning here. And I'll say this over and over again just to make sure that it makes the final cut. But if there is contamination on the edge of a piece of glass, you can bet that when you spray that silver on, that contamination will find its way over onto the surface. Probably by capillary action or something like that, and you will see it in the silver. So we want the edge to be as clean as the surface. And well, guess where all the handling gets done? Guess where all the real dirt is? It's on the edge. And of course it's not polished, meaning that now I have to get pitch out of pits, you know, from the edge grinding process. Shout out to the mirror supplier. These blanks were made by Displays and Optical Technologies Inc., DOTI, out of the Austin area in Texas. They make very, very large, deep dish mirrors for aircraft simulators. So, no kidding, they're working with glass 10 feet in diameter with something like a 1 foot sag, you know. deep stuff, like okay, so 10 feet in diameter with a 9-foot radius of curvature. So it's just nuts. And they've got, you know, ovens the size of my garage. Everything's handled with a forklift and polishing machine that it's like 2 stories. You got to walk upstairs just to get to the lab. It's so big. And yeah, and those go on these simulators, both fixed base and motion based. And being light, of course, is important for a mirror that big. When the glass, I mean, as light as it is, it still weighs a ton. No kidding, a ton. And then putting that on a hexapod, basically, a big giant hexapod that the whole cockpit sits on top of, and you get inside of it, and you're in this wraparound visual system, and it's pretty dang compelling. I've been in the seat of several simulators, and I've even gotten to fly one, a 727, and that was just glorious. Using the head-up display to execute a landing, and successfully landing it. Of course, then I got cocky and I said, I want to take off. So I took off, and that's really. I didn't think takeoff would be all that exciting, but oh boy, when you're bouncing along on the runway, you get to this point where steering the front wheel becomes less and less effective, and the aerodynamics haven't kicked in yet, and so you're kind of helpless for just a second or two, and then you can use the rudder pedals to steer, and then you're up in the air and everything's fine. But boy, I mean, you know, you give it full throttle, and well, if you've ever flown in a plane, you know what that feels like. It's a whole different thing when you're in the front seat, though, and you see that runway getting shorter and shorter. And you're bouncing along, and oh geez. So then I took it up in the air, and I said, you know, I just want to nav myself, and I'm gonna do a big U-turn and find my way back to the airport. And I did, and that was kind of interesting, because if you don't set yourself up right, then you're not gonna succeed. So I know just what it's like to crash a 727 short of the runway at PDX. The video just stops. It just stops moving, and you're like, oh, game over. Okay, got another quarter. I'm already getting tired, and I'm only taking the pitch off. Let's see if I know I've got some steel wool lying around here. I'm wondering if I should use that, especially on mirror number 2. I remember where my steel wool is, of course. Where else would it be? Okay, let's try some of this. Yeah, it's coming off a lot easier. And I don't think I'm touching the front surface. And if I were touching the front surface, I'm really not too concerned about scratching it, because I just don't think I can at this pressure. But better safe than sorry. I want to be very careful about that edge. If there's any part of this mirror that isn't polished out, it's the edge. So